Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So about 2 weeks ago, I did a video that was a collab video of 5 things that I don't spend money on summer edition. And that video was well received. You guys really seemed to like it. So I thought I would do another video, but this one would be kid edition. So I came up with 5 things that I don't necessarily spend money on when it comes to Connor or, you know, future kids. So the first one is toys. Now I know this sounds bad, but of course we buy toys for Connor. If anything, he has several really nice ones that he really likes. But something I noticed probably early on with him was he's a child, therefore he loves toys. And there'd be so many times that we would go to the grocery store and I would find myself like swinging by the toy aisle so he can check things out. And then he of course finds something that he likes and he's begging me for it. And I have like this mom guilt that as a mom, like I should buy this for him. Like why would I say no? I mean, we're debt free, we have an emergency fund, we're in this great position financially. So why will I not buy this $35 toy for him? And it really, it's like every time I think about this example, it was, okay, so Monsters Incorporated, the Disney movie, they had at Walmart, I think the name is Scully, like the big monster that's purple and blue, like spots or whatever. They had this Scully toy that was $40 and it was like a stuffed animal, and of course you like press his belly or whatever and he said quotes from the movie, and Connor just wanted it so bad. And I just remember like being on the verge of buying it for him because I had this like mom guilt, and I'm like, why am I saying no to this? Like I should let him buy it, like I should, you know, let him have it. And it was a purchase that day that I was able to kind of like veer him away from that toy, and we got him something a little bit cheaper, and you know, we moved on with our day. But it was just something I started to notice more and more with Connor, is that again, he's a child, therefore he wants a toy anytime we go somewhere. But anytime that we would buy him something, he would play with it for a few days and then it would wind up underneath his bed in his room. And I started to realize just how much money we were spending on toys. Last few years have really kind of scaled back with him on toys and things that he can buy. Of course, unless it's a special event like his birthday or Christmas or things like that. But I just realized that like every time we were going out to the store, he had this like expectation that he was going to get something. And so that's something again that we've really scaled back on the last few years, is him not feeling entitled to having some kind of a toy or a treat every time that we go out. Like even the other day, Matt and Connor went to AutoZone because Matt had to get something, and I waited in the car, and when they were walking out, Connor had this little matchbox, like you know what they look like, the little cardboard that has a little, you know, toy in the front. So I thought, oh whatever, those are 99 cents, you know, that's fine. And Connor gets into the car and he's like, Mom, look, it's a Fast and Furious one. So I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, whatever. And Matt hands me the bag with all the stuff in it, and I'm like looking at the receipt, and I look at how much the toy was, and it was $8, like almost $9. And I asked Matt, I'm like, why did you let him get that one? He was like, oh, aren't those only like 99 cents? I'm like, this one was like almost $9 because it's a Fast and Furious brand. He's like, oh, I didn't even look at it because they don't really like have the prices on them. He's like, I wouldn't have let him get it, you know, but like it was kind of, it's, you know, it's been done already, you know, so he has it now. And the other day I was cleaning our living room and I lifted up the couch cushion and it was like stuck between the couch cushions. I'm like, see, he's not even playing with it anymore. So things like that I'm like, okay, let's save some of these special little treats for Christmas or for his birthday. But if we just do this all the time, like it's not as special anymore. So the second thing are snacks. Now, don't get me wrong, Connor gets snacks like any other kid, but I feel like I'm pretty good about minimizing the kind of snacks that come into our house. I think it's really easy when you're at the grocery store to pick up kind of like the pre-made frozen like pizza bagel things, or you know, like packaged cookies, or like the little cupcake things that are like pre-packaged, like ready to go. Typically with Connor, we try to keep it simple, so I give him like goldfish or like the little yogurt drinks or some kind of fruit, like, you know, like bananas or grapes or strawberries or whatever, apples, things like that. I really try to stay away from kind of like the pre-processed like packaged stuff, because A, it's unhealthy, B, it's expensive, and C, it's just not something that I want Connor to get in his head that that's the kind of snacky foods that we have in the house. So if you're hungry, go grab a cupcake, you know. typically with him, it's like you're hungry, go get an apple, or you're hungry, go get a granola bar or something like that. But I know that I've been guilty before in the past of going to the grocery store and being like, oh, this looks good, you know, so you start filling up your cart with all these like snacky type foods. Next thing you know, you've spent $200 and you didn't really get anything for dinner, you know? So that's something in the years past that we've definitely scaled back on. Just kind of having him understand like that these are the types of snacks that are available. They're not gonna be the super expensive ones, but they're gonna be more kind of like the simple, like, you know, typical like apples, bananas, goldfish, crackers, like whatever, things like that. And the third one is clothing. Now, of course, Connor has clothes. That's not what I'm saying. But I have always been very minimalistic when it comes to clothing for any of us. I don't like buying excess amounts of clothing. I feel like they're very expensive. Most of the time, I feel like you can already wear something that you own that you can kind of get away with. You probably, I've said this before, you probably noticed in my channel that I, you know, rewear a lot of the same articles of clothing. And Connor's kind of the same way. Connor is very minimalistic. He has a few pairs of blue jeans, a few pairs of shorts, a handful of t-shirts, and that's kind of it. You know, he'll have like a pair of Crocs at any given time, a pair of tennis shoes, but I just have never been big with him, and I'll be the same way with the twins, about having just these little outfits and just, you know, going to the store. I think it's so easy to like get kind of caught up in that with like, you go to the store and you buy all these cute little outfits for your child, and they maybe only wear them once or twice and they outgrow them, and you've just spent all this money on all this clothing that you wind up giving away. So with Connor, like when he was a baby, and again, I'll do the same thing with the twins, it was just very minimalistic. Like you wear a onesie, some little socks, you know, like a little blanket or something. I never really bought him outfits at all. And again, I probably won't do the same thing with the twins unless it's like a special occasion, of course, like you know, like a wedding, or we're taking pictures or things like that, where I actually want everyone to look like nice, like we're supposed to look like this all the time. But most of the time, again, it was just onesies and like super simple outfits. So the fourth one is entertainment. So I'm referring to things like bowling, or like the pizza buffet, where they have the big arcade rooms that cost like lots of money to get the tokens. I think that those types of activities are really great. But I also think that sometimes you can overdo it because you feel the pressure to take your kids to go do those types of things. So early on with Connor, we really just try to set the tone with him that those types of places are great if you get a good report at school, or it's your birthday, or something like that. You did a good job, therefore we're gonna go out and celebrate. So we've really tried to have Connor understand that family entertainment kind of comes in a different form, that we do more things as a family rather than, you know, going to some of these places where they're just these money sucking like places. Like we, again, anytime that we have gone out to these little arcades, it's like you can't leave without spending $70 on the tokens and pizza, and it adds up so much. So like right now, for example, Matt and Connor are out fishing, so they are spending quality time together. It's not really costing anything because they already own all the equipment, and they're spending quality time together. You know, they're able to be together and they're bonding, and it's something that they can do, and Connor can be raised with those memories that was the type of activities that he did with mom and dad and with his little brothers. And it's something that we can, you know, enjoy as well, but it's not, you know, costing us a ton of money. So the fifth one is apps on an iPad. So Connor has an iPad that was a hand-me-down from Matt from a few years ago, and you know, he watches Netflix on it, he downloads apps on it sometimes, and for the most part we were pretty lenient because it's like, oh, it's only $1.99 for this app, or $2.99 or whatever. But we started to notice that this was kind of like a recurring thing. It was just like a constant, can I download this? Can I download this? And we'd be like, yes, yes, yes. Well, one day I was looking at his iPad and he had like 2 or 3 pages of all these apps on his iPad that were like, half of them were free, but the other half like we had spent money on, and they were just like apps that he didn't play with anymore. And I just realized, like, wow, we can really spend some money on some of these apps. So Matt did something where he like disconnected like downloading apps, or like changed the password, or did something to where it wasn't something that we were gonna do on a regular basis anymore. Because I would even tell Matt, I'm like, look, we're getting like all these charges for like Apple, you know, for like all these apps. So like that's gotta slow down. Of course, every now and then we let Connor download an app, but we've just scaled back quite a bit. Those things can add up, and it's like death by 1,000 little cuts. Like, you just don't realize how much it's getting you until it gets you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.